It's me, Rachel.
It's me, Rachel.
Would we get canceled if we put that as the cold open?
No, because Dina's
Dina's
here.
like Italian.
Yeah.
No, yeah, this is my culture. You're not, yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Rach.
Hi.
It's Faywatch.
It is. It really is.
Yay. My name is Rachel. I'm here with Will. Hey, Will. And Dina.
Hey, Rach.
Sorry, my Starbucks is kicking in. I'm feeling out of control.
I'm like,
Perfect.
I'm very taken aback. I'm like, who is this person?
No, I think it's perfect.
I need the people to know. Okay, well, listen. Episode 2 of Fourth Watch. Fourth Watch. What the fuck it's called?
Honestly,
It's Fourth
that's kind
Wing.
and it's Faywatch, so
And
it
it's
might be
Faywatch.
Fourth Watch.
Fourth Watch. Episode 2, baby. We're right in the middle of things. If we were a sandwich, we'd be in the meat right now. I'm personally freaking, to quote Rebecca Yarros, thrilled because today I am a passenger princess.
You are.
I'm coming along for the ride. It's nippy outside. I want everyone to know who's listening. It's crispy outside. It's nippy outside. So it's fall.
It's goth girl fall. It's giving
It's goth girl
Christian
fall.
goth girl fall.
Christian goth girl
Which
fall.
is the theme of the season.
It's crispy. I am nestled. I'm swaddled in blankets right now. I'm in my desk recording stew bed. And I'm a passenger princess. I got my Starbies. I'm ready to get in Dina's little car. And Dina's going to drive it.
Hop in the Fiat.
Hopping in the little Fiat. And Dina's driving us. So, Dina, you start driving.
What a beautiful metaphor. Rach, thank you so much for leading us through episode 1. I know we really put you through it.
I really led from behind.
Like all of history's greatest generals.
Right, exactly. Just know your strengths, you know?
Yeah.
No, but I think, just to clarify, I think Rachel had a very specific experience with this book that I maintain was partially because of the audiobook quality. I, on the other hand, to be clear, have read Fourth Wing 4 times. Mm-hmm. Anytime I have a bad week or I'm sad, I just look at my little book with the little dragons on it and I say, okay, one more time.
Yeah.
And I pick it up and it makes me very happy. So
It's your cozy safety blanket book.
It really is. And I am able to magically overlook pretty much everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We're such a pluralistic podcast.
I know.
We believe
really
in pluralism.
respect.
Yeah.
The dragons are there and they're talking. There's like a hot shadow daddy. I'm in all the way.
Yeah.
So just for our listeners, don't be, I know this might be a little bit of whiplash here, but it's okay. We're all getting through it together.
We're all getting through it.
So with that said, we're getting dragons.
Ooh. Okay. And I do want to say, with all of that preamble on the table, I'm going to add slightly more, which is to say, look, now we're really we're getting into again, we're in the sandwich meat, and I am excited. There is some fun, tasty meat in here.
Yeah.
So dragons among that meat.
Right, exactly. I would say we're all pro dragon. Okay, great. So it's threshing. Funny enough, it's also fall. It's crispy, it's nippy out there,
Oh,
they're going into the field. I feel like there's maybe some leaves, who knows? And they basically have to find a dragon to bond with or die, whether by a dragon fire or each other's hands as they're fighting over the dragons. Mm-hmm. So basically, all of the cadets, or whatever they're called, go wander off by themselves into the forest and fields of some kind of wilderness where the dragons are. Violet is just kind of wandering around on her own, and then she spots the golden dragon.
Did we mention the golden dragon?
It's
quite possible.
Who can say?
Who can say?
There's a tiny golden dragon.
And it's
It is a
rare.
tiny golden dragon.
They're like, wow, we haven't seen a tiny golden dragon, and they never come to this part.
Yeah, they're called feathertails. The dragon's not big enough to hold a rider, so it's what is it doing? Is it actually trying to bond? Nobody knows. But Violet sees the dragon, and then she hears Jack and his friends, whatever. I just call them like Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle, basically. Oh, yeah. They're like gonna go kill the golden dragon because it's a big thing there to kill the weakest link.
Why? Why are they going to kill the I don't understand. They're just that murderous?
No, I think it's like, oh, you have to take out the weakest link because it brings us all down. But really, it's just that they're that murderous, I guess.
Okay.
Anyway, Violet's like, okay, well, I could at least, make it there in time to warn the golden dragon so that they can fly off or whatever. And she's running through the trees and she's like, thank God I played hide and seek when I was younger. And now I'm like really good at this.
With Dane in the woods. They just spent lots of hours alone in the woods together.
Ugh, gross. My feelings on Dane will be made clear very shortly. So she goes to warn the golden dragon, but the dragon just is chilling there and doesn't seem to care at all. And then Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle, aka Jack and crew, come to kill it, and Violet steps out in front and basically is gonna try to fight off these 3 larger cadets. She'd also sprained her ankle when she was running.
Yeah, natch. I mean, to be honest, same. I would sprain my ankle on a fucking heartbeat in a forest.
Yeah, you famously have very weak ankles.
Weak ankled king.
Yeah, you're always spraining them at gay soccer. You better watch out this season.
Yeah. The bad boys are basically like, oh, this is a 2-for-1 deal. We get to murder the dragon. The super rare dragon that I'm sure there'll be no consequences for us murdering.
Right.
And we get to murder the general's daughter. Also, I'm sure there's no consequences for us murdering.
Yeah, they're really fucking dumb. I don't know. I do wish there was a little bit more motivation for their hatred of Violet, but whatever. I guess it's just, she's weak. Let's kill her. Fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now we got a showdown in the clearing. Oh my God, all of a sudden her scalp is pringling.
Ooh, did you just say pringling?
I did say pringling. That's not a word.
Prickling or tingling?
Oh, that's what yeah.
So pringling is when someone crumbles some Pringles on top of your head and lets it fall on your scalp.
Xaden shows up.
What's he doing here?
He's there with Sigale. Mm-hmm. And he's not, so nobody's allowed to be there. The upperclassmen are not allowed to help. They're not allowed to interfere. It's a big rule, capital B, capital R.
Right.
But she fights off the guy. Xaden's narrating. He's like, look behind you. And they're like, you can't interfere. And he's like, but I can narrate. And so he's very much towing the line. And then one of them is about to kill her, of course. And then Xaden takes a step as if he's going to interfere.
But
then there's a giant gust of wind at her back. And what could that be except another giant fucking dragon?
Wow.
Apparently there's this gigantic black dragon that's been unbonded for 5 years since the rebellion. It's more powerful than all the other dragons. And that's who lands behind her. He torches one of them. Jack had ran away because he's a little bitch. Mm-hmm. And the other one is lying down unconscious. And she's like, we can't kill him. He's unconscious. Boo.
Yeah.
But then it's all fine because we've, dealt with the dumb boys. And then basically she gets to bond the fucking strongest dragon.
What are the odds?
What are the odds? And we get dragon talking in her head.
Well,
and it's so fun.
He's honestly, I sort of want to, I feel like you can't have too many daddies. And I'm not sure, frankly, Xaden has earned the daddy label.
No.
I think this is snarky dragon daddy.
This is literal daddy.
Yeah.
This isn't.
He's whatever, centuries old or something. Yeah, but he's also kind of fun and flirty in his own way. So
yeah.
I think he has to be.
In a not weird way.
Not in a weird way. But
no, he's just always kind of making fun of her or bothering her in a really fun way. And the dragons, this is my favorite thing. They're always chuffing or scoffing.
I do like the chuffs.
Yeah.
Because my dog does that.
Yeah. He's very curmudgeonly.
He's
grumpy grandpa.
Daddy dragon. Yeah, he's great. He has the best sense of humor of any character in the book.
Yeah. I also love, we talked about this with Crescent City. I appreciate that they're very clear that the conversation is just through their heads so that I don't have to do some weird imagining in my mind of the dragon's mouth moving.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely Andarna is a wee little How to Train Your Dragon figure to me, but so animatronic or whatever. But
So she goes and gets on his back, and everybody like freaks the fuck out when they see her roll up with this gigantic black dragon and also the tiny gold one. She goes to give Taryn, is the name of the black dragon, Taryn's name to the roll keeper. And then Andarna, the little gold one, is like, you got to give them my name too, because we're both picking you.
Wow. Gasps.
Gasps across the field.
Breaking precedent. New ground has been broke.
Bonus dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get a cute moment where Taryn's like, stay with the wing leader while I go talk to the other dragons. And Violet's like, oh, you mean my squad leader, Dane? And he's like, literally fucking no.
Well, because, right?
Because this is the big thing here is that Taryn and Sigil, Xaden's dragon, are mated, and they're the strongest mated pair in fucking centuries.
Wow.
And they can't be apart for more than like 3 days.
Codependent kings and queens.
Which almost sounds like, if they can't be apart, it sounds like people might be forced
like
into proximity. Forced into
not that. Anything but that. I have to be forced into proximity with this guy who's hot,
I can't
but
stop thinking about naked.
evil. No.
Oh my god.
And now he has to protect me.
Yeah, right.
Even though I don't need to be protected.
That's the other thing, right? Allegedly, if your dragon dies, you die. If the rider dies, the dragon doesn't necessarily die, but gets despondent
really
for like a while.
Yeah.
But
I think Taryn, because Taryn's old rider died like years ago, and he almost died.
Right.
Basically, if Violet dies, then there's an even bigger chance that he'll die because he almost died last time. And then if he dies, Sigil dies.
Right.
And then if Sigil dies, Xaden dies.
Mates die with each other, quite sort of Shakespearean and romantic, I suppose. And then TLDR, if one of either Xaden or Violet dies, the other one probably dies too.
Correct. That's forced proximity like we've rarely seen it before, folks.
Wow.
Okay, we also get a really fun little love triangle fight here while the dragons are out talking, because Dane, like, obviously, you know, is furious with Violet, who just fucking survived and came back with 2 dragons. Get a fucking personality, Dane. He's trying to blame Xaden. He's like, Xaden manipulated this so that the threshing, so that this would happen. And then, of course, we get our little shadow daddy like coming out of the woodwork.
I mean, it's so funny. I'm torn here, I feel like, between the two of you, because part of me sort of, there's some logic to Dane's point of view. You don't want to be bonded to a dragon such that your life will now depend on what happens to this powerful, maybe rebel. You know, I kind of get that. That's not wild, but it is true. He has a very limited sense of Violet's abilities, which is pretty fucked up.
Yeah. How much of that is him being smart about Xaden, and how much of it is him just thinking she's weak and
Porque no los dos.
Okay,
Porque no los
but
dos.
here's the thing, and I guess I'm probably skipping ahead a little bit, but since we're on this topic of conversation, hashtag justice for Dane.
Oh, God.
Set it trending.
I got it trending, guys. Here's the thing.
No.
Also, this is a classic thing, again, in some books that I perhaps love slightly more than this one. So am I being a hypocrite? Because I get I'm calling it out in this book and not other books. But there's this whole thing of Dane's so overprotective of me, but Xaden isn't. But like Xaden literally is also very
okay.
Like he gives her a fucking personal bodyguard detail because, by the way, she needs it.
Yeah.
But she's like, nobody can. No, I can protect myself. Although again, skipping ahead, almost just got murdered in my sleep. How dare you? But like they both do the same shit. I'm so sorry.
Okay, but
they do.
Okay,
multiple times
if I
throughout.
Could give me like the lawyer word for what am I doing? Am I rebutting?
Rebuttal.
You're rebutting.
Okay, they do it so differently. Xaden does things. Obviously, yes, she needs protection, but he also does so much help her prepare to be able to defend herself. His version of overprotectiveness is getting Imogen to train her to be stronger. Whereas Dane is overprotective, but is constantly trying to control her and make her decisions for her.
Yeah, I think there are differences. I think there are more similarities than are often given credit for.
But Xaden is really hot and like has a good jaw and soft hair and is tall.
But so does Dane.
Yeah, so does Dane. Well, and so I think this will come up again in maybe the next episode too, because I think what is realistic is I think actually she's about to catch the ick right here, and like basically in this conversation for the first time. I do think it's true that when you catch the ick with someone and then you're into someone, they could behave in pretty much the exact same ways, and you will react very differently for them, just for the reason that you've caught the ick.
No, that's 1,000,000% true.
And Xaden, sort of sly shadow master, almost like sets up the conversation such that she'll catch the ick from Dane, because Dane obviously is like, well, the rules, whatever, the codex, 1 dragon per person, yada yada yada, and Xaden's Dane, would you have broken the rules to save her from Draco Malfoy et al? And Dane's like, no, I believe in rules. So I wouldn't have. Although I will say, again, Xaden took a step towards saving her, but he himself didn't exactly go out of his way to break the rules and save her in any
he didn't
way.
show up. I don't think he was even allowed to be there.
I don't know, man.
He showed up. He's telling her.
He's like backseat driving.
On your left.
He's narrating. Yeah. That's not helping.
I think he helped.
I'm talking myself into justice for Dane. Wow.
Hashtag justice for Dane.
I'm like so annoyed with you too. I just want to like gab with my girls about Shadow Daddy and how hot he is.
He's hot.
He is hot.
I'm having a bit of fun.
Every time he looks at Violet, his like jaw clenches. We're supposed to think it's because he like hates her, but obviously it's because he's secretly in love with her.
I can't talk about jaw clenching because I have a serious jaw clenching problem. So that's not going to get me in any type of mood.
Oh, no.
But
justice for TMJ Havers.
Yeah, justice for TMJ, the concept of TMJ. I have a lot more to say, but we'll continue.
Yeah.
I'll continue saying it.
Okay, great. Anyway, basically, dragons come back. It turns out what they say goes, and Violet gets to keep both of her dragons, which is so sick.
By the way, as they're flying in or whatever before they land, after Terrence just swooped her up, he's like, "You're the smartest of your year, the most cunning." And she's like, "Oh my God.
Stop.
I was trained as a scribe, not a rider. Oh, you're the smartest of the year." And he's like,
God, Rach, she was feeling like she didn't deserve him, and he was make her feel better.
I know, but she's like, "Oh, I'm the smartest of the year."
Oh my God.
You defended the smallest with ferocity, and strength of courage is more important than physical strength.
Yeah.
You know what?
Sorry. But the smartest of the year thing is
I'm here
funny.
alone in this moment, but I know I have so many listeners at my back when I say, I thought it was cute.
You do. When Rachel and I are canceled, you're going to have to continue the podcast alone.
Yeah, you're going to have to continue alone. When the people with pitchforks have burned our little dwellings down. Okay, anyways, onwards.
Okay, so she gets the 2 dragons. A couple of important things here. Number 1, they all get tattoos.
That's fun.
That's so fun.
It is very fun.
Some of us on this pod have dragon/wyvern tattoos, so it's like, I've been there, I get it. You know what I mean? That was like a really relatable scene for me, personally. Mm-hmm. Essentially, they talk about how the risk of Violet being murdered is exponential because there are 40-something unbonded riders, aka people who survive threshing but don't have dragons, and basically they are all going to want to kill her because she has the strongest dragon.
Right, and she has 2. That hardly seems right.
Post threshing, we get some very good, fun high school scenes because there's like a change in the social order, a lot is shifting, right? Number one, everybody gets their own rooms now.
Yeah, which
Which is exciting.
More sex.
That's a big relief.
More sex than there was sex happening in the communal dorms, we were told multiple times, but now you get your own room.
I like that you went to that place, Will, and I went, oh, thank God she has her own space to like
Decompress.
decorate and like decompress.
But to be honest, most people are on Will's train of thought because everybody is fucking.
Yeah.
Like,
Everybody's fucking.
Rhiannon just
Sawyer
came out of the room with Sawyer, even though she's had this on and off thing with Tara. Social hierarchy is shifting. People are moving out of their way for Violet, and there's like, oh my God, what's happening? And then they sit down, all the little first years at their table, and then the second and third years actually deign to sit with them and talk to them. There's Imogen, who is a rebel kid. She has half pink hair, half shaved hair.
Edgy.
Yeah, she's so edgy.
I very
girl.
much pictured her as, remember in the last Hunger Games when Marjorie Terrell played the videographer?
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's who I picture as Imogen. It's like basically that exact character, but with pink hair.
And maybe literally that exact character was the inspiration. Who can say?
Who can say? This is when Imogen tells her that she has to train with her every day, and she realizes that Xaden is basically ordering everybody to keep her alive.
Right. Did you hear? Did you hear what just came out of your mouth?
But if somebody was doing that who annoyed me, I would hate it.
Right.
But if somebody was doing that who is hot, then that's great. And I maintain that hypocrisy is totally fine because it's how I also live my real life.
Right.
Yeah.
It's part of being human.
okay.
So
Yeah.
Totally.
Who are we?
Who are we?
Who am I?
The new challenge is about manifesting signets.
Like a baby swan, but spelled differently.
Oh.
Wow.
Essentially, you have to learn to physically fly on your dragon, but you also have to learn how to channel magic. You essentially have to wait for them to channel it to you, and then you manifest a signet, which is like a combination of their power and who you are. Last thing I will say about manifesting, though, is that essentially you have about 6 months to do it before you like kind of explode or like die a painful way or whatever. I also completely forgot to share, because I don't like him, a little bit more about the Dane situation, because he, after she got the 2 dragons, all of a sudden he was like happy for her and he kissed her, and she felt nothing because she's starting to get the ick.
Yeah.
But she doesn't really do anything about that, which, you know, I can respect. She's like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to move on with my life. And then he comes to her being like, Violet, you know how much I care about you. And maybe one day after graduation, we could be together. But the rules, Violet, I have to follow them. I want to be a wing leader. Like, fucking, you want to call Violet a gunner? Like, this fucking guy's a gunner.
He is
like,
a gunner.
I want to be wing leader.
And
I can't have sex
I
with
will
you.
say that, like, he is such a good representation of, I feel like, the psychodrama that goes on in a straight male's brain, where they live out these just with somehow refusing to take any inputs from the real world to see what's going to happen. They will have crafted this entire like romantic narrative in their head and then be appalled and angry when, because someone else doesn't reciprocate, the entire thing gets dashed on the floor.
Right.
Wow, that is so true. Anyway, yeah, so whatever. She's not into Dane, and I'm sure will be a wing leader next year. Good for him. But no justice for him.
Did we say his signet?
He reads minds, but only when he touches, or he reads memories.
Yeah, there are people who have done real deep dives into how many times Dane touches Violet's face throughout this book. And, like, I don't have the attention to detail for that, but I'm going to go with a lot.
Yeah, he's always cupping her face.
Also, just, especially at this point in my life at least, I needed as few oily hands touching my face as possible from like a skincare perspective. I'd be so mad at him for constantly cupping my face.
I thought you were going to say, at this point in my life, I don't want to know what's going on in anyone else's head.
Oh,
like, I don't want to know.
That's also true, frankly.
Yeah, keep your memories in there. None of my business.
You know what, though? Dane would be really useful, actually, at figuring out how often boys are thinking about the Roman Empire.
Yeah. Honestly, you'd probably learn a lot about the Roman Empire just by reading boys'
just
thoughts.
At any given time. Yeah.
Let's talk about the assassination attempt.
Please.
So let us remember that in Article something of Section something of the Codex, it is illegal to kill someone in their sleep. It's like the only time that you can't kill someone because it's honestly kind of a bitch move.
Yeah. It would also, I feel like, affect quality of sleep, which is probably important.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
It's a policy choice.
It's like a public health. Yeah.
Yeah. And Violet sleeps in her hot dragon scale corset anyway, just to be safe.
Very uncomfortable, but...
How fucking grimy is that thing, too? She literally has it on 24/7.
No, literally, she and Zayden argue about that.
Yeah, and she must have horrible acne.
Yeah. Like,
oh, you think she's like
acne?
acne?
Yeah, she has such
Yeah,
bad
that's just
acne.
not breathing. How many times do you have to tell these girls? You have to sleep in breathable fabrics.
Well, actually, as we'll get to shortly, it's probably good she doesn't.
Well, yeah.
She hears her dragon's voices screaming in her head, and she wakes up to find 7 unbonded students in her room. And she sees Amber Mavis, who's one of the other wing leaders, run away. They try to kill her. One of them is one of the Crab and... we're going to call him Crab from the Malfoy crew, who was left unconscious and threshing, who tried to kill her. So he's there to kill her again with a bunch of others pretty quickly. Orin is his actual name. The guy who has been trying to kill her has her by the throat. And then all of a sudden she hears Andarna's voice in her mind, and Violet feels this weird channel-y energy in her body, and time stops. As this is happening, Zayden has showed up in the room, swung open the door, crawls out from under his knife and goes stand by Zayden, and then time snaps back into place. And then Zayden kills them all.
With his shadows, which I have a gripe with, but it's fine.
What? Tell me you're
a gripe
great
about the physics of shadows.
Yeah, the whole point of shadows is they're insubstantial. They literally are insubstantial, and they're just there. But his shadows can do whatever the fuck they kill people.
Yeah, they can also break his fall.
They smother flame. Yeah, they can break his fall. But the whole point of a shadow is you can't touch it. You know, that's the defining feature of a shadow.
Well, I think in the canon that is fantasy romance literature, when people are talking about shadows, I feel like they often are talking about some kind of dark power. It's not necessarily just hiding things, right? This isn't a new thing that we've seen. A lot of our other shadow daddies can do things with their shadows and kill people.
Yeah.
And contort them. And it's more like a dark power.
That's a fair point.
I think the way they're using shadows is less how we use it in our magicless day-to-day life. After Zayden kills 6 people, he calls in his buddy Garrick and his cousin Bodhi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To essentially clean up the bodies. He then starts examining Violet. He needs to make sure she's okay. And so therefore he needs to undo her corset to check her ribs.
Of course.
He looks at the mark of a hand on her throat, and he's kind of in a rage again. And he's like, I should have killed him.
I should have killed him more.
I should have killed him slower. Which,
yeah.
Rachel, you love when the Hunt does this, and Hunt sucks compared to Zayden. Get it fucking together.
Wow, yeah. You might be right.
I fucking supported you liking that dumb himbo.
He's such a
I need
himbo.
your support here.
I know, you're right. I should try to be more supportive. You're right.
Okay, fine. Then a little bit more. She's like, oh, I guess it's fine. I just won't ever sleep ever again. How dare you be overprotective? If you even think about sleeping, that we need to sleep together for safety from now on. It's like, okay, this girl knows the tropes. She knows.
Oh, yeah, she's been reading.
She has been
she's
reading.
Literally, she's like, oh no, forced proximity.
Yeah, she's like, I would hate it if you did that.
This thing you haven't even brought up.
Yeah, how dare you?
Anyway, so obviously he's like, as if I don't fuck first years, not even when I was one. And she's like, who said anything about fucking? I'd have to be a masochist to sleep with you.
Oh my God.
And I can assure you I'm not. And then he smirks and he's like, a masochist, huh?
Yikes. They're pretty young. They're just figuring out how to do this whole thing.
Like, they're having little bands, and, like, everybody's embarrassing in their flirty band.
Yeah.
Also, this does remind me, this is one of his key problems, is he's not several centuries old.
That is true. He's far too close in age.
Mm-hmm. That's the real issue with you, Rach. He's too young.
I mean, that's why he's not a daddy. He's literally several generations older than
23,
him.
yeah.
Oh my God, there's a great moment now that we're talking about it. This is in the next episode, but they're at some party and Violet mom refers to him as the Riorson boy. And in her head, Violet goes, "Excuse me, he's a 23-year-old man."
Which is like such something that a 20-year-old would say.
Yeah. It's
you know
so
what I mean?
Funny.
Like, I very much remember being 20 and thinking a 24-year-old boy was the pinnacle of manhood. And now I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I really want to now forget that he's 23. I don't think that I've been computing that in my head, and I think I'm going to continue to.
Yeah, put that out of your mind.
Yeah.
He's been through a lot. So
I
suppose he's mature for his years.
Yes.
But he's 23.
Okay, well, anyway, TLDR, they chat with the dragons, basically, and Darna can stop time, or now Violet can, but because she's a feathertail, it's very dangerous because it's not channeling, it's actually a gift, and, like, Violet could technically drain her of it and kill her, and, like, she's very tired now because using any power is, like, very exhausting for her. She's a very sleepy girl.
And I think here, somewhere around here, we learned that Andarna isn't actually a different type of dragon. She's just a baby dragon.
She's a baby dragon.
Yeah.
And nobody can know, like, this is the thing, is that nobody can know that because nobody even knows what the babies look like or where they are.
Right.
And that would be dangerous because people would probably want to, like, try to steal them. And it's also doubly dangerous because of the whole gift thing. And so people would probably, like, hunt the babies to try to, like, steal their power. Okay, so some consequences that come post-assassination. Number one, we meet Liam, who Xaden moves into Violet's squad to look after her. He's a kid of the rebellion, strongest first year in the class, adorable blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy. Consequence number two is that Xaden accuses Amber, the wing leader who broke into Violet's room, of breaking the codex. Dane is like, "What? No, I don't believe you." And then Violet makes Taryn show her memory of it or something to, like, literally everybody there, so they all see that it was her. And then Taryn scorches her to death.
Yeah, Rip. She loses her little public trial. But specifically, Dane was like, "I don't believe you. Let me look at your memories."
Oh, yeah, it was like consent. Reach for her.
And then she's like, "No, I'm going to share my memories." Like, that's a violation. I'm going to share my memories with everyone all at once just to fucking spite you.
Right, but also I feel like she couldn't let him see her memories because then he would see the time thing.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So that was, like, a piece of that, too. But yeah, and Violet's like, "Oh, Xaden believed me just on my word." Which I'm saying, like, Rachel right now, but again, is a difference.
Yeah.
Tally that one up, guys.
Yeah.
We'll concede that point.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, so Violet continues to be sexually frustrated. She realizes that the reason she hasn't slept with anybody else is because she has the hots for Xaden. Oh, cool.
You don't say.
Self-aware queen.
Knew that.
Her sort of pent-up sexual frustration is paralleled by her inability to manifest her magic. And they both seem to be sort of heading towards a fever pitch.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Very good call out.
Thanks.
Well,
that's what you call literary analysis.
I was just going to say A+ on your essay this week. Well, that's brilliant.
I'm the smartest one of my year. Give me the big dragon.
You know what might help her situation? Their dragons fucking.
Wow.
Who would have guessed it? Honestly, not me.
This was funny. I liked this. This is cute. It's a fun device.
I thought it was, like, original. So essentially, because you can feel your dragon's feelings and you could, like, hear their thoughts, one night Taryn and Scale are, like, clearly having a date night or something.
Oh yeah.
And Violet wakes up and is filled with dragon horniness feelings.
She's lustful.
She is extremely lustful. And so she flees her room because Liam's there. And she's like, oh my God, before I like do something I'm going to regret, I need to just run away and like go out into like the cold air.
And she's like, before I just like climb on top of Liam.
Yeah, like a tree.
Like a tree.
And guess who's leaning against a wall smoking?
Weed, I assume, right? Like he's
Yeah, I
smoking
think
there.
it's like, right?
Yeah.
Churum.
I mean, it's a little something to take the edge off.
Taking the edge,
Right.
the old edge, taking it right off. He's like, first time getting horny by your dragon.
This scene also, I feel like, is one that I'm going to think was really cute and you guys are going to think is annoying. But
No, I like the scene.
This is
okay,
cute.
great. He's like, do you want it? Some like, do you want some? And he's like, or are you just here to keep arguing? In which case, none for you. And this is when she realizes she's really obsessed with him. And she's like, no, I needed to run away before, I did something to Liam. And he's like, Liam's in your bed. And he gets really
Super
jealous.
defensive
Jealous
of his like best friend.
Yeah. And, his arms wrap around her waist, steadying her. And he decides he's going to teach her to shield. He's like, you have to block them out. He's like, can you just ask me nicely? And then they're like kind of arguing. And he's like, no, I need you to say please.
He definitely has a point. She's just goes to automatic, like, sassy girl every time
Yeah.
they talk. And he's like, can you just maybe not every time?
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I don't know, basically the lust overtakes them and then they're making out.
And he's like, oh, fuck it.
Yeah. They're like, well, we tried.
Yeah. He's like, I don't want. Well, I guess this is why they stop. He's like, I don't want the first time to be like the dragons.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be under the influence of dragon the first time we
Yeah,
fuck.
I can't.
Okay, A+ things about this scene are that he lifts her up and I think like places her against the wall.
I feel like we haven't talked about it this episode. Big height difference.
Big height
It's like
difference.
a kind of very constant thing to be aware of.
Right. Yeah. And so I think instead of straining his neck, he was probably like, oh, it's probably better chiropractically if I just grab her ass and lift her up and put her against the wall.
Wait, so is she like her feet are like dangling?
No, I think
They're,
they're
like,
probably
wrapped
wrapped around
around
his
him.
waist.
Wrapped around.
Her feet are dangling. What do you think? Like, she's just like dangling. No.
Her legs are like kicking.
Yeah.
No, they're wrapped around.
Rachel, I'm so sorry, but I am going to just do this to you.
Okay.
You might think this is a less hot piece of the scene. At some point he kisses her harder. He claims every line and curve of her mouth.
Oh, yeah. That was just like, what? I'm sorry.
Rachel's
Every
famous
line.
love
How many
of French
lines
kissing.
are in your mouth, by the way? Like every line and curve. Okay. There was some other. I should have written it down. In this book, there's a couple offensive kissing things.
Yeah. Don't worry, I got them for you.
Oh, great.
God, thank
Good,
you.
good. I really enjoy making Rachel feel really uncomfortable about the French kissing thing.
Rachel's visceral reaction to French
Yeah, it's
kissing.
so fun. Okay, well, I won't get into too much more of that for your sanity, Rachel, but I will say that one other thing that happens while they're making out is that all of a sudden there's thunder and lightning in the sky.
Snunder,
Yeah.
which sounds fun.
That does
Snow
sound fun.
thunder.
Hello, like spoiler alert, like this is her channeling.
Yeah.
But she
Wow.
doesn't realize it
Yeah.
at this point. Then, importantly, he takes on a more active role in training her. And this is what I alluded to before. He makes her a set of knives that are like better suited to her small hands. And they have this whole moment where she has to take them off of him to like earn, because you have to like earn your knives.
I mean, he's like pinning her to the ground over and over again. And it's like, ugh, everyone's watching. Like,
Everybody's watching them in the sparring ring. Like,
I
basically,
could
like,
take you right now. Like that kind of vibe, you know?
and they're basically saying that stuff to fuck with him. And it's incredible. I think everybody's standing around them being like, should we leave?
We are, I think, living in these modern days, so deprived of the absence of sparring. Because, like, we've never had the opportunity to, like, spar with a romantic interest in such a way that they will, like, pin you to the ground. And, like, like, that's, like...
That's true. I guess I
don't really
I have
get that.
sparred with people, but I wasn't crushing on any of them. So
When did you spar?
when I did boxing in college,
Oh. I guess you did spar. But that's not a pinning someone on the ground sparring. That's the only one that really matters.
Yeah. True. It wasn't like MMA.
It's like wrestling seems like that, you know?
Yeah, I guess like, don't like boys in high school when they're like doing their wrestling. Certainly there's some like homoerotic stuff going on there.
I think the whole point is that, yeah.
We can't speak further on this.
No, I cannot. Okay, so again, we're left wondering what's going to happen with Violet and Xaden. Certainly nothing. Who knows? Sexual tension out the wazoo. And then there's a little squad battle thing. I guess they're like battling it out to see like who's going to be the best squad. And they have to do this like scavenger hunt, basically.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And
I forgot about this.
Violet's squad goes to steal something from her mom's office. And they use all their powers. That girl's like astral projecting, blah, blah, blah. They like steal some map of all the outposts and they like win this big squad battle, which is super exciting because it means they're going to go visit an outpost, like a real live outpost where real soldiers are. Funny enough, the outpost that they happen to go be visiting is the one where Mira is, Violet's sister.
Oh, it's her sister.
I love that for her, honestly. It's not
you get to like see.
Yeah. So they get to go fly off to that outpost, and it's like, oh, wow, like Taryn and Scale are going to be away from each other. I wonder like how long they can be away from each other. It's been 2 days, and then like Xaden like shows up and he's like, yeah, it's about like 2 days. So he also has to be at the outpost because of the mating and because of the plot.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that's where we leave things. We've got dragons, we've got powers, we've got sexual tension. What more could you want? Me, nothing. You guys still some things, but that's fine. That happens.
We like it.
We all want sex.
Yeah, we all.
Which is forthcoming. It's forthcoming. First, I think we have to sort of see what else happens on this little field trip.
Right.
And then we get to the good stuff.
Thank you all for listening. No thank yous to Will and Rachel, who just refused to be on my side, but thank you to everybody listening who is on my side. Know that we stand together.
Just know that if you are gonna like whatever TP our house or like burn it to the ground, I'm actually about to move in with Dina, so like you will take you will take her out if you take me. So just dwell on whether that's worth it.
Oh, yeah, don't do that.
In mind.
Yeah, don't burn down our cute new apartment, but do share any comments, ratings, thoughts in defense of me, personally.
But, like, 5-star in defense. And speaking of which, may we give a few...
Oh, please.
At least one cheeky shout-out.
Oh, we love a cheeky shout-out.
We must give a cheeky shout-out to Rockaline, Rockline, who... gave us a sweet little review on Apple. Our little queen or king, monarch, whomstever you are. Again, we're not going to read the whole thing. That would be weird and embarrassing. But she did say that we're lovable.
Aww.
And that, for us, made it all of this worth it. That's all
worth
we really
so
want.
many therapy sessions. Thank you so
lovable.
much.
Before they heard our sort of bickering on this episode, though.
Right.
So.
Exactly. But once upon a time, we were lovable. Perhaps we still are. Who could say? And so thank you so much.
Thank you.
That made us really happy.
We love you, Monarch Rockalyn.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that's about it. So we'll talk to you all next week. Bye.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.